I've been traveling with my family. This has been sitting in my mailbox, and I could not wait to get home to get this unwrapped and show you kind of what happens here. Got a package from TriggerTech. Inside that package are 2 of their pre-production new trigger shoes that have apparently been approved by the USPSA. I have 2 firearms that I had previously had these triggers in. This one I've kept it in there. I haven't been shooting it very much, but this has the Ace trigger system in it from TriggerTech. This one has my trusty Johnny Glock's trigger. So that's been in my more used gun that I use more frequently. And so here we go. This is my Glock 47. This is my Glock 45. What we're going to do today is we're going to replace these triggers with the TriggerTech new approved competition trigger shoe. And we're going to see if that fixes the problem. You can see what they've done here. Here is the old trigger shoe. The old trigger shoe was completely covering the metal trigger that's here. And you can see the way the shoe works. It just comes back into contact, and this little shelf right here catches on the frame, and that's your trigger safety, right? That's what they intended. The problem was, with any kind of inertial test, whether it's me dropping it on its back or Johnny Glock's hitting it with a mallet, that was allowing this trigger to be defeated and the gun to go off. So, will this redesign fix that? You can see what they've done here. They've obviously taken a bunch of weight out of the trigger shoe itself and made it fit more around the trigger. I can tell you, well, I have the lighter spring in here. There's a noticeable difference. They put from the factory, they put the stiffer spring in, which understandable. Try and prevent that from happening. This one has the lighter spring. I believe this one has the stiffer one though in it. We can look at that when I take it apart here in a minute. But we'll see if this new design makes a difference. Okay. First things first, we're gonna show clear. Okay. Here's the trigger. Trigger currently pulling on this Glock is pulling at about right at 4 pounds. Okay. Now, at 4 pounds. And I'll try and do the same weight here, but dead trigger. Okay, let's do that again. Dead trigger. Dead trigger. Okay, so that is not working, right? So what's happening is when it's having that impact, the inertia is carrying this safety to disengage and allowing the gun to fire. Okay, so we're gonna disassemble. We'll put the new trigger in and let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, pretty straightforward. That one comes right off. Okay. New trigger shoe goes on. They go in. That goes in there like that. Oops. Let's see if I can get that right. There we go. Just like this. Okay. Drops back down into place. There we are. Okay, good. Go. Slide catch. Rail. This will be a fun one to do on camera here. Let's see how this goes. Oh yeah, that's how it works every single time I put a Glock together. They just slide right in place. That's exactly how that goes. Spring lined up there, which I do not have it centered. There we are. Okay. Okay, that feels pretty good. Feels about the same to me. Let's see what the pull wet measurement is here. Right at 4 pounds again. Let's do it one more time. I don't know why that would change. It's slightly under 4. Now, so I can feel, it might be tough to see, but when the trigger shoe comes back and that you can see that the actual trigger itself sticks up just a tiny bit beyond the trigger shoe. And I can feel that with my finger. It feels fine. I can tell that it's happening. So I can feel that disengage and my finger come into contact with the actual metal trigger that's there. But the pull feels just as good. So it's wall, break. No creep, no wall, break. Reset, wall, break. Reset to the wall, break. There we go. Okay, let's test it. Here we go. Whack it one more time so you guys can see that. And here we go. Hit that pretty hard. Come on, moment of truth. Ooh, harder. Y'all, I think after 2 hits, TriggerTech might have fixed this. One more try here. I'm going to hit it pretty hard. That's working. Guys, on a gun that was failing every single time, I did an inertia test on it. Every single drop test I did to jump straight to just putting the shoe in. I didn't run through any of their safety tests. We'll do that here in just a moment. But that drop test is now passing. That was failing just a moment ago. And all I did was change out the trigger shoe. Okay, let's walk through the instructions that are here that for all their safety and function checks. Now that I've kind of got the thing in there, we'll just walk through the instructions here from TriggerTech. Okay, the safety engaged, disengaged. So I can see, and man, I should show, let me see if I can show you that on the other one that they sent me. Yeah, so let's look at this. So the safety tab that catches on the frame, you can see on the old model, this bronze one is the old one. You can see how narrow that tab was. It doesn't look like the tab really sticks up any further, but it is a much wider tab on the new trigger shoe. So I'm not sure if that impacts anything, if that's made a difference, but it's definitely a difference in the design. So that's one difference that's there. The previous trigger, the shape of the trigger, the metal trigger itself obviously didn't have this big T on it. So you can see this is where this is where, I've got a dog was in here. So this is cut out and that mass is going to be different. Okay. So let's walk through their safety. So I can see that this is engaged. So you can see here, the shelf sits on the frame there. So if I push on just the metal part of the trigger here, I cannot, you can see it, I'm pushing it there. I cannot get that trigger to rotate back and pull. I can't do that until I disengage that safety, which rotates it around here and makes it miss the frame. Now I can do it, okay? So that is engaging. That does that properly. So this step here is complete. Fit to the frame correctly. So it says in some cases, due to tolerant fluctuations on the frames, it might interfere excessively. I'm not having it interfere excessively there. There's no dragging. It's not interfering with my trigger pull, so I'm good there. I don't need to make any adjustments or grind anything down anywhere. That seems to be clearing well. Fit to frame corrective action. So it's saying things I can do is take some material off here or there in order to make that fit. I don't need to do that. It is catching properly and it is sliding past properly when the trigger shoe is pulled. So I'm fine with that. Okay, safety tests. These are more what we're looking for here. Okay, these happen with the slide off. So okay, take that slide off of there. Okay, the first one is hold the firing pin safety depressed with my fingertip. Shake. Firing pin is floating freely in there. Good to go. Check the trigger safety lever by trying to lift the firing pin. Okay, so this is also checking that to make sure that when I lift the firing pin safety here, or this plunger pin, or a plunger part of the trigger bar, that it's engaging the trigger safety here. You can see it try and come back, but it can't because it's being captured by the frame there. So that doesn't come back any further. That seems to be functioning properly. I need to test the reset. So when I pull the trigger here and then push down on this tab, we should see this sear pop up and it'll click. Click. Okay, that's working properly. My dog came in to say hi. Okay, that's working. So we're good there. Firing pin, hold the muzzle in downward, press the firing pin safety. Into the slot. Oh, no, I skipped one. This is here. So this firing pin test. So we got this one just fine. Perfect. Okay. Now here, this is 7D. This is push this all the way back and push it down. It should not allow that to go past that plunger. It does not. I cannot push that past the plunger. And then 7E is, if I do that same thing and push the plunger down, I should be able to push it past, which I can. So you can see if I push the plunger down, I am able to push the firing pin past the plunger. And when I pull this firing pin back up, you can see the plunger pop back into place. It's working properly. Okay, and then the rest of it is cycle, reset the trigger, make sure the trigger reset and everything functions properly. I keep getting that off-centered when I take that off of there. Okay. Okay. This fixed my problem. Does that mean it's going to fix it for everybody? No, it doesn't. But based on my initial testing here, my Glock is now drop safe. It has an approved USPSA trigger in it, and I am good to start competing with this gun. I'm going to do some training with it. I'll go out and get some video of me shooting it. We'll see how it shoots, see how it performs, and I'll continue to test it. If I have any failures, I will come back and return and report. But as of right now, first impressions, this has corrected the problem on the TriggerTech Ace trigger system. TriggerTech, I appreciate you guys taking accountability for this. That video that your founder put out was fantastic, and this seems to have solved the problem. So well done. So, as of right now, this gun has not failed a drop test since I put this new trigger shoe in it from TriggerTech. I put it in my Glock 45 as well. That gun is also passing my drop test. So, as of this moment, this trigger shoe seems to have solved the problem. So TriggerTech, good work, and thank you very much for sending me these two new shoes as replacements. They have said, and if you look at their website, look at their YouTube channel, they have posted, if you own one of the new TriggerTech Ace trigger systems for Glock, they will replace it with one of their new trigger shoes free of charge, or you can reach out to them for a full refund. So good on TriggerTech. Again, SIG, that's how it's done. So TriggerTech, my hat's off to you. You've gained a fan, and I am very grateful to have a trigger that I absolutely love, that I also feel like now I can trust. I'll head out the range tomorrow, and I'll get some footage of shooting this and see how that goes. But as of right now, I could not be happier. Again, well done, TriggerTech. See you guys next time. Thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and we'll see you next time.